I thank you for your time. We wanted to make sure today that we showed something that was applicable, and I think we can safely assume that everybody here in the audience today has probably traveled. So what we wanted to show was some transparency and putting the control into the cardholders' hands themselves, and also reducing, if not eliminating, friction between the banks and their clients. So typically, when you fly somewhere or you travel somewhere, when you land, the first thing you do is you turn on your mobile device. So in this case, when that happens, you get an alert, and it asks you, are you traveling? So we've done some, not professional or any kind of quantitative summaries or surveys, but when we talk to our clients, we've asked them, on average, what's the best percentage of the time when somebody calls you and tells you they're going to be traveling, either domestically or internationally, should you expect their card to work? And we were shocked by the result, and we were told 50% of the time. So if you travel extensively, like I do, that gets to be a frustration and an embarrassment. So we've come up with a way, again, to remove that friction between the bank and their cardholder, and enabling the cardholder themselves to take back control and notify the bank at their convenience where they are, where they're traveling, so that the friction is reduced. So in this case, it's asked me if I'm traveling through my geolocation on my mobile device, and I am. And if you notice in the bottom, you'll see by default, I have my cards now that are off. So once I leave my desired geolocation, once I get outside of that boundary, all of my cards are locked. So if I lose my wallet, no one else can use those cards. So that's one of the features that we've built in. So I'm going to click OK, and you'll see it's going to bring me into our Idea Financial Center. It wants to verify that I am in fact Chris Colson. So I'm going to enter in my PIN number, select OK, and then you'll see through geolocation, it actually pinpoints exactly where I am. So you can see on the map, it knows that I'm at the convention center today. The other thing, by talking with cardholders, we asked them, what are some of your other frustrations? And what they told us was, not only do I want my card to work, but sometimes when I travel, if I tell my bank I'm going to be at X location for 4 days, I may actually be there longer or shorter. And I can't always make that international call, and I don't want to be declined at the point of sale. At the same time, the bank doesn't want their cardholder to get declined, so that they'll think about leaving them and maybe having another bank provide them a card. So we've come up with a way by which I can select the number of days that I'm going to be traveling. In this case, I'm going to be here for 3 days. You'll notice at the bottom that my cards are currently locked. I select OK. And now you see, by default, since I've logged in through my PIN, my cards are now active. So I can start to use my cards here. So what it's done, it's sent a message back to the bank, again, being proactive, notified the bank that I'm traveling. It knows where I am for my geolocation. It knows that I'm in Denver. And I told them I'm going to be here for 3 days, so please make sure that I can use my card. Some of the other frustrations we heard from cardholders are, when you travel, sometimes you forget when you have a payment that's due, and it's not easily available to go through a bank's website to get to that actual page where I can make a payment. So could you please put a payment button, right, where I see my transactions? The other things we heard from the bank was, we want to make sure that our card is constantly atop a wallet, especially as you hear all the talk around mobile wallets. And what better way to do that, to understand actually where your client is or your cardholder is. And in this case, I have less than $2,500 available to me to spend while I'm on this trip. So if I do any entertaining while I'm here, or stay at a more expensive hotel, let's just say, I may run out of my limit. So in this case, instead of me having to call back to the bank, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select next to the plus sign, and I'm going to ask for an increase. Again, it's me, the cardholder, that's in control. I don't have to call an 800 number. I haven't been declined. So in this case, I'm going to select the plus. You'll see what comes up is, it's asking me how much do I want to increase. So as you all know, if you were to call today your bank and ask for a credit line increase, they already know what the pad is. In this case, I've been pre-authorized to go to $25,000. So the bank already knows that information, so why not make it available to the cardholder? So in this case, I'm going to ask for an increase from $17,000 to $22,000. And one of the other things that I can do here is I can ask this to be a one-time increase while I'm traveling for these 3 days, or make it a permanent increase. I get a message back. Again, it asks me, am I requesting this increase for $22,000? I'll select OK. I'll get my terms and conditions. I'll select OK. And then you'll see at the end, I'm back to my original application. So when we first rolled this out, some of the questions we got, hey, that sounds pretty good, but what happens if I have a recurring payment? Well, not to worry. If your card's locked, or you're traveling, or you're asking for an increase, et cetera, we can set that flag in the background to make sure that those recurring payments are continuously paid and to save you the embarrassment. So that's the presentation, that's our application that I wanted to share with you today. I just want to highlight a couple of key points. Again, what we're working on, we work on incremental innovation as well as disruptive innovation. We wanted to show something today that was applicable to the audience, mainly travelers. So this is a good example of incremental innovation, and it also shows how with the banks working with their customers and TSYS, we can provide innovative solutions that meet their needs. And with that, I have 2 minutes to sell.
So Chris, this is great. Let's just ask a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
Come on over.
All right.
We'll unplug you there. First question is, can I take that account amount balance increase, the limit increase, and move it in reverse? Can I reduce the limit, say, for my son?
In this application, no, we've not built that in, but that's a good idea. So we are working on something called the family card. And with that, you would actually have the ability, not only through a debit card or a credit card, but also with the recent acquisition of NetSpend through prepaid cards as well, where you could increase and decrease. And then more importantly, also through the MCC codes, actually select where your son or daughter could use that card. So maybe I don't want them to make purchases alcohol related. Or maybe I don't want them to be able to use that card after 10 o'clock at night, things like that. So yes, we do have that capability to set those controls in the applications that we've built, yes.
Can you do it to your wife?
So very interesting. So
I did. It was just a joke.
No, I know, but
we don't really want an answer.
We were actually asked that numerous times, and the reason we get asked is some people have asked us about, can you control or get some kind of an alert if, say, my card is used for a purchase over $500, can I get some kind of an alert that says, hey, your card has been used, do you want to approve this or decline this or just be notified of such a transaction? And when we asked that very question, how would you use it? Again, from a male audience, it said, I want to know where my wife is spending money. So, I mean, you don't know. The possibility is there, but it's up to the cardholder because it's something they would have to opt into.
Great. So just to level the playing field here, we've been in lots of focus groups, and that is a constant question from both sides of the family. They want to know about the spouse and the spouse. Any questions? We've got a couple of minutes left. Any questions out there while Chris is still up here? Pretty exciting product, putting it in the customer's hands, so a great innovation. Thank you, Chris. Oh, one question, then we'll go. Well, actually, we have another one over there, so go ahead.
Yes, so we provide the functionality behind it. We don't actually have the application itself, per se. That's not the business that we're in. Yes. And there was one more, I believe?
One more. It's the same question.
Oh, okay. Same answer. Thank you.